Girl, if you ever want to know a guy's financial position, his income level, all you have to do is sleep with him. Now, I know I'm being really serious, girl. And here's the thing. I know y'all got to get it in anyway because a girl's got to eat. But as a dating coach for almost 15 years now, and as your fairy godbrother, I wanted to give it to you straight, no chaser, because the girls are not telling you what the real tea is, but I want to tell you. Okay, so if a guy is lower middle class, he's probably going to have a lot of ED. That's erectile dysfunction for the girls who don't know. And that's because his diet isn't where it needs to be, and he's probably overworking himself. A lot of blue collar guys have this. A lot of lower educated guys have this as well. Now, if he's going one round, he's probably middle class, girl. If he's going 2 rounds, he's probably rich, because the rich guys are overachievers. They got to do a little bit extra than the average Joe. Okay. Now, if he's 3 rounds or more, please understand that he is po. He is impoverished. He is literally only doing those rounds because he doesn't have a place to stay, and he needs to do those rounds to stay at your place for the night. He literally doesn't have a job, so he has all of the energy to go all of those rounds. Now, I don't know what to tell you. This has been so true all of the time, but let me know in the comments if this is true for you as well.
Welcome back to the channel, and you see the stuff on the screen, so you know what I'm about. I guess we're gonna get to it. My goodness. I don't know. It's like there are people out here that I understand. Okay, I understand everybody's giving their opinion, right? Or their studied opinion, their educated opinion. I mean, that's what we all do. And but it's really important, to really think about, seriously consider the information, right? So I already know there's going to be guys in the comments that are going to be thinking about already the overarching thing that, is definitely on the front of my mind, but I am just not going to say because that's not what I am called to say. But I am going to start here. When has it ever been something where when a woman sleeps with a man, that's her best solution to figure out any part of his makeup? I have never actually run into any dating coach worth their weight that has encouraged a woman to sleep with a man. In fact, most of them are saying don't do it. And it's interesting that most of them that tell women not to do it tend to be heterosexual men. All right. Now, I'm not going to go through a list, but I'm pretty sure that if any women are watching this particular video, they already know what I'm saying is true. And here we have someone that is pretty much encouraging a woman to figure out a man's worth by what he does in the bedroom. And this right here is, to me, is such bad advice on so many different levels. And this is things that are, to me, honestly toxic. But this is one of the main reasons why, I'll be honest with you, I've never, ever said, come out to my channel to learn about dating. I've always said, come out to my channel if you want to learn how to get married. All right. And marriage is different from dating. A person, a man or a woman who dates well does not equate to a person who's going to get married. In fact, many people who get married don't date well because it's not about the dating. It's about finding the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. All right. And those qualities are 2 totally different things. Right. And half of the time when I see people out here and they're talking this, it's evident that they've never really thought about that. They've never thought about what does it take to get married. And a woman with a high body count is always at a disadvantage when it comes to getting married than a woman with a smaller body count. And I know women might say, well, that's not fair. That's not fair. Well, life's not fair. Okay. It's not fair for the 5'2" man. It's not fair for the man that really doesn't make a lot of money. And he even talked about it. A man being po. His words. All right. So life's not fair. But the bottom line is there are certain things that can help you get to the place where you're trying to go. The most important thing is not about whether or not a man makes a lot of money. The most important thing is, does he love you? You can be with a millionaire that beats the snot out of you. Did we not just see a big thing going on with P. Diddy recently? Now, I didn't really get too deep into that conversation because I really don't keep up with celebrities. I've said that before. I don't care about them. I don't think about them. I think it's because I was in that world and I know that they're just people. And maybe because they were my coworkers, for a while, it's just like, Bob at my job, at my 9-to-5 job. I'm not overly thinking about the importance of anybody that I run into. In fact, when I was, out there doing media, that was one of the things that, because I did work with the late, great Tommy Ford. Many of you might have known him, from the Martin TV show, Tommy, Tall Tommy. Okay. And Tommy used to talk about all the time. He'd be like, man, the way you treat me. He was like, I ain't never, met nobody treat me like you. But the point was, it wasn't that I was treating him bad. I was just treating him normal. We would leave somewhere and I'd be like, yo, Tommy, can you grab these bags? Yo, Tommy, can you do this? Yo, Tommy, can you move that camera for me? When he was on set with me, he was just a crew member. He wasn't this, regaled, oh my gosh, it's Tommy Ford, oh my world. Right? And the reason why I say this is it's all talking about perspective. Okay? And how you deal with this stuff. Right? So when you're dealing with somebody like P. Diddy, once you start to date him, he's just gonna be on the woman's level. Sooner or later, the woman is just gonna feel like he's just a dude. He just happens to be a dude with money. But then if you're up there and you're mad at him and you're in an argument, and then he comes and beats you and then drags you down the hallway, oh, was the money worth it at that point? What happens when one of these men loses it and just kills you? Okay, I mean, is the money worth it at that point? Anybody can make money. Money is not a difficult thing to make. It is our minds that believe that we cannot achieve it. And right now in our history, we're actually at a golden age right now, whether you believe it or not, because there's so many new ways to make money that did not exist before. Many of you don't even understand about the distribution system that used to be in place. This is when all the companies, and we're still living under this, but this is where all the companies start to buy up like little farms or little other companies. Coca-Cola was one of them. So they bought up all the little soda makers all over the place. And if you go back in time and maybe talk to your grandparents, they might even tell you, yeah, they remember, oh yeah, there was all these different soda brands. But what happened was Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they bought up all of them. And they got rid of the low selling ones because they wanted to push a very small line of soda product. And that is the world we live in now. It's the same thing happened to a lot of the farms. A lot of the smaller farms got killed so that these bigger farms could expand. And so it became about distribution. And when Amazon came on the scene, the reason why Amazon changed the game was because for the first time, people could actually distribute their own stuff, because you used to have to jump through hoops in order to make money to like get into places like Walmart. You couldn't get into Walmart. But Amazon made it where anybody can sell anything. Etsy did the same thing. Also, the same thing happened on eBay. So we're living in a time when anybody can do anything. Shoot, YouTube. I know people that don't even have what people used to call cable or television. All they do is watch YouTube and TikTok or whatever it is. There are people out there, that's all they do. And so now YouTube has billions of channels. All right, so anyone can start their own TV show. Anybody. This is a golden age. And this is why money to me at this point should not be that big of a deal. We have to get away from this constant chasing of money, especially for a lot of the women, because you all will put yourselves in really, really bad situations. Okay, trying to chase the bag. And again, all that does, ladies, and I'm being real with you, is it just turns you into prostitutes. Just say it what it is. You're a call girl until you get the ring. Okay, you're willing to do anything until you can get the ring. Oh, well, he's buying me stuff. I need a man to buy me things. I need a man to do this. You can do that with call girls. You can do that being a sugar baby. Okay, there's literally apps that you can go on, and then you can put your picture out there, and then the man can call you if he's interested in you. You're going to go out with him. He's going to buy you stuff. He's going to take you places. Okay, but he expects you to do certain things. And you might say, well, I don't want to do that because he's paying me. But what's the difference is if you're looking for a man that pretty much does the same thing, except you don't have that verbal or written or seen contract. It's the same thing. If your end goal is just a man with money, there are sugar daddies that marry their sugar baby. All right? This does happen. So if that's just what you're after, just go ahead and put it out there. But that's not a good way to end up in marriage. All right? And all that's going to do is open you up to all these problems that come from lots of sex. It's more than just disease and babies. Okay? It's also the connection that you're going to have. And even scientists have done studies where they've shown that as women get closer and closer to 13 and 14 partners, they can no longer emotionally connect to the next man. This is why we see over and over again videos where women will be out here and then they're making every excuse in the world for their body count. But yet you can see it in their attitude. Their attitude is no longer about connection. It's almost like it's not quite a man, but it's not quite a woman. It's like it's a totally different attitude. And the reason why it's that attitude is because now they can no longer connect to the man. They have no connection. They have no emotional connection anymore. They're just a person out here, moving left and right. And as a Christian.
Do you understand why guys would have a problem with a woman with a high body count, though? Do you understand the logic behind it?
I think it's insecurity. That's where it comes from. I think it's insecurity. That's where it comes from.
Explain.
Like, do they really want to have a woman that is just a virgin? Because she's not going to be good and she's going to have no experience.
They don't need you to be good, though.
That's so boring. Isn't that
it's boring?
Not boring? That's so boring.
I'll tell you what.
That's so boring. It just sounds transactional to me. It just sounds so boring. I don't know.
Guys that are alpha guys that are, want to be, head of household and consider themselves leaders and want to, provide for their women. And they don't find it unattractive that a woman would have inexperience because they feel like, what's going to make that experience in the bedroom so powerful is not that she can bounce off the walls or knows all these tricks or knows all these sexual things and look, she's doing something like out of a that's not what's appealing to them. What's appealing is that she's really excited to be there for him. She's present. She's loyal. She's committed. And he doesn't need her to be an acrobat. He just needs her to be loyal.
Okay, because, you don't have to be a Christian to watch my channel, but you see the stuff on the screen. As a Christian, you want the connection. You want the spiritual connection. And if that does that between you and that person, what is that doing between you and God? This is some of the worst advice that I literally could just go off on this over and over again. Okay. Walking around in a decent amount of purity is so important. I'm not going to beat up on any person, man or woman, that has gone out there. They've had some partners. They've done some things. All right. Because that's why God gives us grace. Because we all going to make mistakes. Every single one of us going to make mistakes. Okay. But the intention, it's all about intention. The intention should not be, oh, I met this really great guy. I don't know how much money he makes. So you know what? After 30 days, let me sleep with him because I really don't want to take it, further if the man ain't got money. So if he can't go 2 rounds, and I don't see some Viagra, in his cabinet, then no, we just gonna move on. I'm just not even gonna deal with him, push him to the side, let me go out there and get me a man that can go 2 rounds, and it's like certain videos out here, you just get a loss of words. And the biggest problem I have is this particular video has 142,000 likes. There are 17,000 women that have saved this. And then there is over 5,000 comments, right? And if you go through these things, it's like here he's talking about spitting facts. That ED blue collar comment is spot on. I had a guy that could go 3 or 4 rounds. He was a real estate agent, but he never worked. So yes, accurate. So even the fact that a lot of these women can even line up with this even talks to our problem in our society. The problem of people just constantly picking the wrong person and not understanding the mental, emotional, spiritual, discipline, common sense levels to find really great people in our world. And there are so many really great men, and who gives a flip if they can go 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds or whatever it is before, they're knocked out or whatever it is. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, if women want to take this advice, you can take it, but I'm just letting you know, this is not going to get you married. This information is going to keep you single, and it's actually going to make your single situation worse. All right? Because like I say, women who have high body counts, that energy starts to come out, and men avoid it. At a certain level, most men can feel it and they start to avoid it, especially the men that are looking for wives. They're not looking for girlfriends. So take this as you will. Anyway, there's a lot of really great information down there in that description. You go check that out. And please like, please subscribe, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video.